you want to do things right? To keep up with keeping your lives tight. Tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things right? Who of you want to truly succeed in attaining all and that which is your need? To be heard by the real answerer of all deeds, the true hearer of all whom pleads. Who of you really want to bow down to the true King of Kings commanding the crown? To worship the one that ever rules alone, commanding everything of creation from the seat of its throne.
And welcome to an A.H.A.D moment, the calm before the storm. I'm your host, Minister Idris Taha, and with me have my partner in faith, Brother Fakil Abdul Aziz, the messenger and prophet of Ahezaah this day, Lord Holy-Apostle Deen, and Holy Queen Mother Rabia Saleem. May Ahezaah's peace and other blessings be within the body
May
of His
Ahezaah's
presence.
peace and other blessings be within about your presence, please. Well.
May Ahezaah's peace and other blessings be within about your presence. Those A.H.A.D viewers that watch our program, we can never thank our Lord enough for sitting down this word in this hour of the day. The messenger, Holy Queen, the brothers, a lot of things that we discuss on this program, you know, many times I know have an effect on people, you know, how they feel, maybe what they think. But in that, we're trying to spark people in general to really think and pay attention to the signs of the Lord manifested in this hour of the day. With that being said, I know me discussed one day earlier this week about hiding the truth or how they conceal the truth, cover the truth from the people in religion at large, you know. So with that, I know one thing Ahezaah says, when the truth is come, falsehood have to vanish, you know. And one thing that Ahezaah manifests for us is the truth that it manifests, that it is the reality and the truth for this day and time. So in that, you know, my brother, maybe give him a little overview.
Again, may Ahezaah's peace and other blessings be within about your presence, Lord Holy-Apostle Deen, Holy Queen Mother. What we were discussing, Idris, was one of the things we were discussing is my experience sitting with the Holy Apostle, true messenger of Ahezaah. Doing some work, a project that we had on a literary project. So man, I was as a helper, and coming across revelation that and information that the Holy Apostle would share, would give, as things that Ahezaah, Allah, and His reality would reveal concerning itself. And then I was caused to go and look at some of the Arabic script. And the Holy Apostle, the messenger here, he says that he doesn't even understand. He doesn't, you know, speak Arabic. He's not versed in Arabic. But the various revelation that would come out, varied things, different things that would come out of revelation, it was proven. You know, whenever I would go and do my rough studies in Arabic, and I would see that, wow, it's proven true. Things that the much of the Orthodox Arabic world, almost all the Orthodox Arabic world would say, certain translations that you would see, that all the major translators of the Quran, you're talking about Yusuf Ali, you're talking about Mamadou Pickthall, you're talking about, for those, Yusuf Ali, Mamadou Pickthall, and Maulana Muhammad Ali, I guess in the United States, are the major, most known translators of the Quran. And there would be things that that I would find in there just in looking at the Arabic script and basic stuff. Basic stuff in Arabic that they would translate falsely, such as leaving out the word blue when he was describing the eyes, whereas each of them would use the terms blare or blurred or even white-eyed or doe-eyed or something like that. And you would find various things that was covered up in the word dhalika kitab, you know, that is the book. Whereas on all the various translations in the first, in Al-Baqarah, they would translate it as this is the book. But I remember just in the basic Arabic studies, Dhalika and Hada, that and this, that and this, that and this, those are basic words. They're used all the time. And I never saw a case where they were mistaken or exchanged for each other, except in the case of that translation, that one particular item.
Well, since we talking about things being revealed, I know that in my studies with the Holy Apostle at the beginning, we was talking this weekend with one of our daughters, and I know that Ahezaah, you know, people take, you know, their religion, their way of life, and they hold it high, and they try to act like everything is set in that and final. But Ahezaah has called mankind back to itself from the beginning of time. And it wasn't until I started studying with the Holy Apostle that I came to realize how universal, you know, the religion is and how it's always existed. And, you know, one of my experience was that the Holy Apostle, I went to New York and brought some books, and he brought some books for me to study from. He had a library, but it was very small, and he didn't want to start me off with certain books. He wanted me to read other books, and I had free time in the evening after putting the kids down. I'll start reading. And but when he brought the books, I had a heart attack because he was spending too much money for me. I was like, I think the book was like $20, $30. I was like, what? I remember this was over 20 years ago, and we had kids to feed. And not that we didn't have the money, I just thought it was too much. And because I didn't think that I could gain much in reading.
Okay.
Because I had my Quran, and I thought that would, would suffice. But anyway, he brought me this book called The Bhagavad Gita. And he left me alone to read it, and he said when he come in from work he would go read it with me, go through it to make sure I understood it. And just reading that book alone was the beginning of me going from tunnel vision to seeing things totally different. Not started causing me stop in my mindset of limiting Ahezaah and its giving.
Right.
Because when Ahezaah come and bring a message of prophet, we look at that message of prophet and we say, okay, that's the beginning and the end for us,
Right.
and that's that. But it opened the doors to me for all the prophets, and I was able to give that to my children because it was so much universal truth in just this small little book that took you back in time and made you see how relative of then and now is the same. Just different, the same thing we tell, different faces, but same game.
Right.
Well, that was in religion. Ahezaah word was true from the beginning up to now, even though man falsely translate and try to cover. Ahezaah still leave clear evidence, and it's giving for us to reflect upon. If we seek in truth, we seeking other than truth, and we got our own game going on, then Ahezaah leads us to be stuck in Quran, stuck in the Bible, and stuck in going to church on Sunday, only praying on Sunday. So that's how we get stuck, because we have set our own path instead of letting Ahezaah, show us our path.
Let me say something. Well, I've been spent, like over 30 years, well, about 30 years now, actually before my enlightenment, but I must give praise to Ahezaah, and the time period of my enlightenment when it awakened me and gave me the clear evidence of truth.
Okay.
And it led me to, I thank Ahezaah much for what it did through Elijah Muhammad.
Okay.
I can't thank Allah enough for that, because and brothers who have come in the way of Islam in this United States of America, every one of them should thank Ahezaah much for Elijah Muhammad, because he was the one, after Noble Drew Ali and other people had came and made their attempts, Allah opened it up with Elijah Muhammad, and taught us how to turn first to ourselves in love.
Right.
To regroup on the love for ourselves, and then to look towards it, Allah, as our guide and as our reality. And in that, Ahezaah, it caused me to remember what it told me as a child, what I was to do as its servant, and through what Elijah brought, it caused me to take up the dictionary, to learn my language as I studied, and one of the great things I came to is the Quran being the criterion of that came before it and that which was to come after it. Now, that's what it says in the Quran.
Right.
If the Arabic translators would have knew that this here would easily be uncovered, they would have falsely translated that.
Right.
To keep us away from understanding that the Quran is really the book of balance that tells us what was right and wrong about what's been saved from the past.
Okay. Right.
and what will be right and wrong, what is to come in the future. Now, by it saying what is to come tells us clearly, those who are real reasonable thinkers tells us clearly that Allah is not finished with man. Allah is not going to stop talking to man. Allah is going to continue to send messengers and prophets to man. And that Muhammad, when he was talking about the great day to come,
Right.
in the Holy Quran, and what they try to hide about what he said, aside from the Holy Quran, about two messengers coming in this day and time, the reasonable thinkers can easily see that Allah is still manifesting as it has been eternally before this day.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
To man, in the time of man, before this day, before man was placed in this body, when man was first formed in mind. You feel me?
Yeah.
Right.
And people in my 30 years, 29 or so, years or so of enlightenment and me giving the messages to the people, I see that people are more inclined to hope than faith. I've been breaking my own back, bending over backwards, trying to point the people to the faith. And most of the people I've come into only want hope. Now, hope is a thing of man's heart.
Okay.
And faith is Allah, the reality. Can you see the disparity between the two? We trying to point you to the faith,
Right.
and you and people in general want to stay with hope, and they are more inclined to let me get on the path and try to get to this goal than getting to the goal.
Right.
It be the journey itself that they're more interested in. Just like people in general want information that they can go out and spew out into the world, so other people that with lesser minds would think that they are great, instead of getting information that will be like steps upon the path which going to give them life in the reality and awareness of the unseen being of Allah, being present at all places at all times. They'd rather have the information instead of have the life.
Yeah.
Huh? Like the brother, the good brother Nassar who came and, and he made the statement about Warif Deen Muhammad or Wallace Muhammad speaking 8 hours when he first came to Newark. And I know that in his statement and in many others' statement in the positions they took back then, wow, this brother Gate, man, he spoke for 8 hours.
If he was that deep,
If he was that deep, you wouldn't have been able to handle 8 hours. Why would he even have to speak 8 hours?
Right.
What was he trying to prove by speaking 8 long hours?
Right.
Yeah. He done did.
You know?
As they said, Rome wasn't built in a day.
There you go, throwing out all this information. Yes, he was speaking about metaphysics?
Yeah.
How many people was ready for metaphysics?
Right.
What a jump.
Yeah.
What a jump from bean pies and whitey H&Gs and trying to get your own business, stay established in the love of brother and sister and self, to metaphysics. And I'm the greatest of mine, and I'm ready to match wits with anybody in my black magic.
Yeah.
You say that, and I had an experience today where I had to talk about Ali Muslim, and I had got an email. Somebody was seeking charity to rebuild the school and everything. And I thought, and I said, Ahezaah was so merciful to me, because I remember when I was young and I was seeking Ahezaah, not seeking company and congregating, but seeking Ahezaah, how Ali Muslim showed me that going to the masjid where he would be a part of wasn't the way. And I thought about that, and it really bothered me, because I'm saying to myself, how many people have they led astray
Many.
They stand up and tell people we can match wit. How you gonna match wit with someone? That's crazy. You know, understand what I'm saying? When Ahezaah is to give, it ain't even yours to match. Because you ain't got
Well,
no.
the thing about it was, what did he have from Ahezaah in terms of wisdom?
Right.
You know,
Right.
see, he was throwing out his own wit, his own smarts about how to outthink a person, how to outmanipulate, how to outmaneuver somebody else. That's not given to the messengers of Allah to do.
And then when that didn't work for him, then he said, well, we could just step out and get it on. Like, you know,
Yeah.
they was ready to fist
fight.
fight.
From one
And, you
extreme
know,
to the
I relived
another.
that era, and then, you know, and I just thought about how, you know, one time we went there for a program when we put our children in the school. Years later, we put our children there because we wanted our children to learn Arabic and be, you know, in the company of those presently who were supposed to believe as we believe. And which we found out that, you know, that wasn't the case. And Ali Muslim said it was time for prayer. And Ali Muslim said, wait.
They had got into the prayer. They had started praying.
Wow.
No, they was getting ready to line up to start praying.
They
Well, yeah,
started
because praying.
Yeah,
They said it's time for prayer. And once they made that call of prayer,
you pray.
they started praying.
Right.
And he said, wait.
Yeah.
Hey, man, that's
he
true.
said, and,
Yeah.
and you know, my whole thing is I don't have no reason to lie. But he said, wait. Let's keep it real. Let's get this zakat first.
Yeah.
And me and Holy Apostle looked at each other we was amazed.
Yeah.
And
Well, I wasn't so amazed because I had experiences with him years before.
I was in shock.
My whole thing is, how did the community make him an imam when he was a thug and a liar? I mean, groups of us knew that he lied about reports and stuff and sent to Chicago during the lifetime of Elijah Muhammad about, you know, how, you know, who was selling the white A.H.A.D and how they were selling it. And these brothers who was at the top, they were taking all the younger brothers, fearful brothers, numbers of sales and putting them with their own, then going lying, saying, well, this is how much I sold. You understand? Little lie, little white lie, little black lie, whatever you want to call it, but you lie in the name of Allah with no fear.
Yeah.
And standing in the holy house of Allah, supposedly, and calling to another holy house of Allah, passing that line. Let's think about that. It might
How
sound
deep it
silly
go.
to some people, but this is all real. Now, this brother said, wait a minute. Let us be for real and get this money first.
As if the prayer wasn't for real enough. Right.
Now,
Now
here he was one of Warith Muhammad's favorites. Like I was saying before, people don't understand the impact and the depth of what they do when they take us from spirituality.
Right.
They take us from spirituality and turn us to materiality. The very thing that are the obstacles of us getting to Allah, they want us to take that and worship that, put that first, make that most important. And they get like the people of the Christians who say, well, if you're in Jesus, you're going to be well, you're going to have money, and this, that, and the other, what they preach. Come on. Let me tell you something. If money was the way, Allah would rain that down from the heavens for us. If materiality was the way,
right,
it would rain that down just like it rains down its wisdom for us. Its wisdom is the way.
Right.
It's wisdom. If we attain that wisdom and be obedient in it, then it, who is know of all things, know what's best for us, what's most needed for us, and what's wanted, desired by us, it will give us a balance of life. It will make us safe. It will give us that security that we need. And if it wants to make us rich in materiality, it would do that.
Right.
Wouldn't you rather be rich in materiality with the way of wisdom than to be rich in materiality with the way of the devil?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you rather Allah be the one to make your decisions for you than you to be burdened to make your own decisions and then have to go to the throne of judgment to be judged for the decisions that you made.
Yeah.
Ahezaah promises us unity with it and wisdom, guidance, if we but obey, surrender ourselves to it, where that burden of having to be judged in the manner that the common men are judged will be taken away from us, because we will die in this life in the light of Christ.
Yeah.
And be reborn. Huh?
Yeah.
Where divine promise would be given to us and we won't have to suffer that. You know what I'm saying? It's very important that we understand that what true Islam is all about, what it's really all about, and how men, like Holy Queen, you made a statement the other day about evil is great, always greater in size and numbers than the good that's manifested, that's seen. And you get all these people together and they suffering, they want the short goal. They want the quick fix.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They want the quick fix. Like brothers who might see you on the street and ask you, well, ask the Holy Apostle, what about Obama?
Yeah.
What about Obama?
Mm-hmm.
Please. That's not the kind of question to ask me.
Right.
First of all, politics is evil.
Right.
Politics have always put a cross on religion
Mm-hmm.
and join with the false religions to keep man down. Because Ahezaah, the Lord El, has always given us a way to become of it as free, in the free realm of its being. Where if every man is free, is of the free realm, in the mindset of the free realm, then we won't need politics.
Right.
Government will be automatic.
Right.
Exactly.
Because Ahezaah brings balance to all things in life.
Right.
And it would be automatic amongst us.
And just think about this here. When Caucasian man got ready to, before he set the slaves free, he said, okay, you could worship at my church, you could worship my religion.
Mm-hmm.
He gave that to you. Then he said, okay, if you go fight my war, then you can vote. He gave that to you. If Idris knocked Fakir in the head, then why would Fakir want anything from Idris?
Yeah.
If somebody came
Why
and
would
shot
you want him to rule over?
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Why would I take anything from him of kindness when he showed me his wretchedness?
Why would I trust him?
Well,
Yeah.
because what they did in the religion with the turning the other cheek had a great effect and impact on our people. That's
In
why we
whose
could turn to him.
But the
That was religion.
But the master gave him that
That's what I'm
because the
saying,
master
right.
didn't want them to go and unify and come back and get him. So the master said, before we can set you free, we got to set you up with our religion.
Right.
Our religion said turn the other cheek.
And it's had a great impact.
And they said Jesus said turn the other cheek.
And
So,
worse than that, they made Jesus a Caucasian.
right. So they whole thing was they fixed it up so that once they let you out their house, because they ain't never freed you. Once they let you out their house, they knew that you wasn't coming back.
Once they let you out into the playground.
Right.
Yeah.
They knew that you
Go to sandbox, right?
They knew that you wasn't coming back on them. They did that to protect themselves. They knew what they had already put in you. They just wanted to
So
seal
they just used
everything
it. They
up.
took the religion and they
You know what
used
I'm
it for their own purposes to create, to create order for themselves, to benefit themselves.
Well, you got to remember this. You got to remember this. They did not form that for us. That was already formed
for
for
them.
people that they used it against.
Right.
It wasn't
Hundreds of
specific. It
thousands.
wasn't
17
specific.
decades, 17,
Yeah. Lord, they've even to the you were saying
decades ago, or
Holy Apostle, you mentioned we're talking about
centuries ago. I mean,
talking about Christianity, and you turn even the term Christ. They made Jesus into the Christ.
Right,
Lord just said
right.
that's not the case.
So, so all that manipulation took place, and we yet have not stopped. We just keep feeding it to our children, our grandchildren. We have not yet stopped and said, wait a minute, where did we get this from?
well, that's the sad
we
part.
don't go
That's
back and
the sad
investigate.
part about being nurtured as a species of people.
Yeah.
See, it's a deep thing. See, their problem, the problem with the rulers, the jinn of this society, okay, and what we have to look at is that the jinn is in all societies.
Right.
You got the jinn of all people,
Right.
not just Caucasians in this country. You got jinn in every nation,
Yeah.
Right.
huh? And they operate together.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some of them call it the haves and the have-nots. Some of them call it the rich and the poor. You understand what I'm saying? Or the powerful and the weak. You know, their whole thing is to make sure we stay in our position. Now, they have created a species of minds
Right.
who have no way out. You got to understand that no matter how much we beg our people to understand this reasoning, this wisdom,
Right.
there's certain ones of them that are not coming out. Now, the problem they have is that Ahezaah is more powerful. It's really powerful.
Right.
And they're not. That Ahezaah at any time creates people that is not affected
Right.
by what they've done.
Right.
Okay.
See, I am free. I am of the free. And as much as they put in my forefathers or attempted to, Ahezaah snatched me out of that. Ahezaah didn't create me in the spirit of that. I'm free of that.
Right.
What happened to me and where I had my mishaps in life is when I tried to become of that. When I tried to be accepted, try to be them, I knocked my head, I did myself in physically, mentally, emotionally. I messed myself up in life, you know, going through them trials, trying to be of the people because I didn't want to be alone. Now, I got sons and daughters, but mainly my sons. My daughters seem more reasonable than my sons at this point. But I got sons that I'm trying to tell them, look, everybody's not meant to be like the people of the world.
Right.
Some people are outstanding. Some people are different, are meant to be. And if you're going to keep trying to be like the people of the world, you're going to have problems because Ahezaah is not going to allow it. Huh? I died at 16 or 17. And Ahezaah talked to me and said, I'm not going to let you die now. I'm sending you back into your flesh so you can serve me. Huh? I couldn't even kill myself by accident. I couldn't even kill. I couldn't, you know? And I came back.
Who of you want to do things right? To keep up with keeping your lives tight. Tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things right?